It's a quick trip up I-15 for the Utah Valley Wolverines, rolling up to John M. Huntsman Center to face
Utes that are having some nagging injuries and some illness. So a lot of the other players are getting some playing time.
Yeah, we will get to that here throughout these first few sets, but opening things off, Sammy Blackett, a sophomore out of Orem, playing for her hometown team. Utah starts out with Gabadlo, and that's a great start. Utes have liftoff.
It's always good when you can get your big gun going right from the beginning. She does a really good job here, coming in strong and swinging on the angle.
Emery Moiahi, Bountiful native, senior at the line. And here comes Utah Valley out of the middle. Did that touch hands? No, that one went long off of the outstanding middle blocker, Bella Wooden.
It's a really strong serve here by Moiahi. She had a really nice flat serve that started that off and made it difficult for the Wolverines.
And that's going to be an overpass, and that's flushed straight down by Caitlin Field, the impressive 6'5" freshman.
Caitlin Field is a Utah player, coming in just as a freshman, gotten a lot of playing time so far. She's out of Harrisville, Utah.
Weber High School. Very raw, didn't play at a high level until she was a teenager, 16. And there she is with the bump set. A little give and go out of the middle. How about that?
That was awesome. Love to see the middle get going quickly. One of the things that Coach Lanier said was that Leah Wilton-LeBoy hasn't had as much time with the starters. And so the timing with the middles is something they've been working on. So it's really good to see that starting early as well.
Quickly 4-0 to open things up for Utah. This comes out of the back row from Sammy Blackett. There's Gabadlo again, her second swing, and that goes off the block. And that's going to be one of the features here tonight, that Utah Valley block.
Yeah, Bella Wooden is an extremely strong blocker. She has 3.3. The team as a whole has 3.3 blocks per set, and they're one of the top teams in the nation at blocking.
Third overall in the NCAA entering today. That goes off hands, and that's Gabadlo's second kill of this first set. It's 6-1.
And with a strong blocking team, you don't always want to just try to swing around the block. You really want to attack that block like Gabadlo did there and swing high and try to find the weaknesses in the block.
5-1, correction, there is Leah Wilton-LeBoy, who had 28 assists against her old team, Utah State, a couple days ago. Tipped off the block, Gabadlo right there to meet Alyssa Erickson at the net.
Gabadlo and Field combining on this block, really nicely set up, strong block where they were pressing over the net and able to throw that tip down.
UVU, there they feed Avery Page, and that is her first kill. The 6'1" senior out of Lehigh starting to get going.
Page was a WAC Freshman of the Year when she came in as a freshman. And like we talked about, her and Blackett really share the hitting responsibilities and really get most of the sets for this Utah Valley team.
So here's the serving specialist, Natalie Briggs, at the line for UVU. That's kept up in the air by the Wolverines, but now a 3-ball for the Utes. McKenna Payne, the libero tonight for Utah. Chisholm sets up Page again, and she found the soft spot right in front of Allie Grossenbach.
This is a really smart shot by Page. You can see that she's coming in with a double block, and the off blocker has come behind the block, and so they can pick up the tip, and she tips along the net where there's no defender.
First team all-conference selection for the WAC last year, Avery Page. And she's over there setting up in front of Gabadlo, and the block was set up nicely once again by UVU.
Yeah, this time Olivia Jaffa combining with Page on the block.
Entering tonight, 22 total blocks on the year for the sophomore Jaffa out of Morgan, Utah. Wilton-LeBoy got one hand on that to set it over, and how about that swing from Gabadlo, painting it down the line after a hustle set from Wilton-LeBoy.
Yeah, the dig pushed her a little bit tight to the net, and she's back row, so she cannot attack above the top of the net. So she does a phenomenal job there of pushing it outside with only one hand.
Bonnie Key Powell, sophomore out of South Jordan. There's Paige once again. She will get a healthy helping over there on that left side. And that was swung into the net by the freshman Grossenbach that time.
Allie Grossenbach hitting a .326 so far on the season, doing a really nice job on the right side. She's gotten some more time with Devin Weiss being out and Yoki switching to the left side.
There's been a few freshmen who have had to step up. Here's Yoki. Moving over to this left side, kept up in the air by Key Powell, but Utah couldn't work it in transition, and it's point Wolverines, and all of a sudden this set has become a little closer than what we started out with.
This time, Utah Valley having Jaffa going on the slide, cutting it back on the angle.
Back set from Wilton LeBoy, Grossenbach right there. Another slide from Jaffa, and another kill. They go right back to the well.
Yeah, Jaffa does a really good job. She's a little bit more offensive, and Wooden is a little bit more defensive, leading in the blocking category. So, you know, not something that you expect to see as much out of Utah Valley hitting out of the middle.
Yeah, they feed those outsides quite a lot, but there's a service ace from Avery Page, one of those outsides. First lead of this set for Utah Valley. McKenna Payne, that's an overpass, and Jaffa knows right what to do with that. And all of a sudden, momentum has swung in Utah Valley's favor, and head coach Beth Lanier wants to. Looking good so far. Family affair here at John M. Huntsman Center. 9-7, Utah Valley with a nice little run here. That was Key Powell who kept it up. Free ball here for the Wolverines. Chisholm sets it up. There's a swing on that far side from Sammy Blackett, and now she gets involved.
Starts off with a block here by Utah Valley. Utah just barely able to keep it alive.
Yoki just kind of rolls that over the block. Nice little tip, and that ends a bit of a run there for Utah Valley.
Nice shot there by Yoki. Set it up well. She came in strong, and so the defender wasn't expecting that it was going to be a tip shot.
Maria Yoki, a sophomore from Finland. Blackett again, rolling it into the middle. That was Yoki who got dirty for it, and then a wild swing from Grossenbach, point Wolverines.
Yoki started out the season playing right side, but then with the injury to Devin Weiss, she moved to the left side, and that's also created more opportunity for Allie Grossenbach.
Transfer from Clemson, where last year she was selected to the ACC All-Freshman team. Led her team with 27 service aces. Lonnie Matavao at the service line here for Utah Valley, the libero.
And the second service ace for UVU.
Matavao coming off a nice week. Was the WAC libero of the week, 6th time in her career for that award. And that's fought off the block by Grossenbach and out, so point Utes.
And Langley Griffin is checked in playing left side hitter. She was on the Utah beach volleyball team last year and has transitioned into the indoor team.
Down to the middle, a set Wooden. Tapped over, and how about the touch on Emery Moiahi?
Great time there between Wilton LeBoy and Moiahi. Nice dig by McKenna Payne, and then Moiahi just sees the hole on the floor and tips it in.
Headed back to Utah Valley. Linda a little sloppy on the Utes part here to start things out, but again, we're getting a lot of faces that we're seeing here in this first set that maybe haven't been as regular throughout the start of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of different people coming in and out because of some of the injuries and just some nagging injuries. Great play there by Leah Wilton LeBoy.
Taking it from the serve, put right at the net by Bonnie Key Powell and Wilton LeBoy made the best of what could have been a dicey situation, but was assertive in that read.
Yeah, very tight pass there, and she just went over with it instead of trying to set it to her team. Smart play when you're a front row attacker or setter in that case.
It's been an interesting volleyball journey for Wilton LeBoy of California, just north of San Francisco, Utah State 2 years, then Oklahoma, and now Utah. Big swing from that right side, and it just misses long, it looked like. Moeahi going for that deep corner.
Yeah, this is a high back set to Moeahi, and not something you normally see from middle blockers, but it looks like we're going to have a challenge now on the in-out call.
Utah is challenging a block touch.
Challenging a touch. I think they might have an argument for that ball hitting the line as well.
Yeah.
That looked pretty close. So 15-11 as we kind of reset things for you here. It started out all Utes, and it looked like Utah might run away with it, but Utah Valley kept their
After review, the original call will be reversed. Point Utah. Utah will retain their challenge.
Daphne Nelson, our second official on that. I love how quick she is to make those reviews. We can see the touch right here.
I think they got Avery Page on that, or was that Blackett in the back row? I think it hit the line anyway.
Yeah.
There's 3 different ways the Utes could have earned that point. Page has to send over a freebie. Wilton LeBoy was too tight to the net. An overpass gives Utah Valley an easy swing.
Page's third kill on that overpass.
So far, 3 kills for Joppa, 3 kills for Avery Page, both efficient so far. They set the middle, and once again, Caitlin Field finds pay dirt.
Field's third kill of the night as well. Really good connection on the quick set, and Field swings to that deep corner. It's a great swing for a middle blocker because the defenders are usually up closer and there's no one in that deep corner.
Chisholm takes care of this. Deep swing met by the block of Utah. That was Gabadlo and Field.
Started with a really strong serve by Leah Wilton LeBoy. She's been a tough server for Utah so far this season. She had 1 match during the Utah Classic with 5 aces. 7 on the year. Utah back within 1. This goes right back to Page. Wilton LeBoy for Grossenbach, just a tip over the net. Page into the middle. McKenna Payne hits the deck for it. And I believe a double touch that time by Utah Valley. They call it a net violation. McKenna Payne doing a great job here. You can see she sprawls all the way out and keeps that play alive for Utah. You can see the net contact there on that replay. And the lead goes back to Utah Valley. Just missing that serve, trying to go down the line. So Natalie Riggs is back in, a senior out of Gilbert, Arizona. She picked up a service ace in the first set against Hawaii, last match for Utah Valley. That moved her to 6th all-time on Utah Valley's list. This might be another one right here. Look at McKenna Payne, keeping it alive. Utah Valley puts an end to that dream for Utah. Big swing from Jaffa, her 4th kill. Great hustle by Utah, even though they didn't get this point, running that back into the cheerleaders and keeping it alive. And then Jaffa on the slide for the kill. Bump set for Gabadlo. That was a hammer to the far side line, but dug out nicely by Mataval. Grossenbach from the right side. Utah on the run. That's Field again, another kill, this time going across her body. Field, really a highlight so far in this first set with her 4th kill. On this one, she's not going right next to the setter. She's going for a little shoot set that splits right between the blockers.
Tape tickler, and that one got a Utah Valley bounce. Not enough steam from Bonnie-Key Powell, and so it'll go back to Avery Page. 3 kills on 6 swings so far for Page. Mentioned earlier, it'll be her and Blackett's show. Here is Blackett, and didn't have the angle that time.
Blackett missing here, but she was the WAC co-freshman of the year last year, had a really good freshman campaign, and then again is her and Paige are really leading this team offensively.
Yeah, had some of the most kills in the country. 467 on the year. She was a huge part of this Utah Valley attack. Matavao, born in American Samoa, but hails from West Jordan. From the back row, that was Page. Looked like maybe a miscue on Utah Valley's part. Pancake that time from Riggs, but they say it touched.
It's a great swing by Langley Griffin early in the rally. And then another tip for Moiai just over the block and down.
And Grossenbach will check out. And now we have Lana Mijacic, a freshman out of Serbia, in for the first time here tonight. Only played in 5 sets before this.
Usually a middle blocker, but looks like she's checking in as a serving specialist right now.
Blackett off the block. Wilton LeBoy sets Moiai, who just couldn't find that right line.
Moiai on the slide there. Her favorite shot is going down the line. Really, really great play for her usually. Looks like just missed it a little bit wide. Maybe trying to go off hands there.
Serve goes long from Chisholm, so Utah keeping the Wolverines within arm's reach here in this first set. Langley Griffin checks out. And coming in for Utah, Ileana Linehan. Tough serve there. Page got a piece of it though. And here's a 3-ball now for Utah. Hard swing. Chisholm just punches it up into the air. Out of the middle, Moiai deposits it right in front of Matavao.
And we have Key Powell, who stayed in front row and took the first swing in that rally right here between the block. And then a great dig by McKenna Payne, and Moiai puts it away.
Slam dunk for Emery Moiai, and the Utes snatch the lead back just like that.
A little momentum now.
And maybe a little bit more pressure on her with some of the absences in the lineup for Utah tonight.
Yeah, she has 5 kills on 6 attempts, hitting .667. Another bright spot so far is Caitlin Field. The other middle has 4 kills on 5 attempts with hitting an .800. So the middle's really getting it done so far for Utah, which is awesome for them. You know, it's been the Gabadlo show and a lot of outside hitters, so great to get the middles going a little bit more.
Big swing that time from Erickson of UVU, and what do we have here? We say point Utah.
Player into the net on the block on the Gabadlo swing. See if we can see it here. Looks like she caught it on the ground.
On the stanchion right here, and so we stay at 21-20. Good challenge by Samatoa. Blackett's into the block, but out. Tied again.
Blackett does a really nice job of going off hands off of the smaller setter, Leah Wilton, the boy there, and out of bounds.
Second kill for Sammy Blackett, trying to go cross court, and that one just misses wide. And the critical moments approaching here of this first set. UVU has only beat Utah twice in their program history, 2009 and when these two teams last saw each other back in 2023.
I think that the UVU coaches are questioning if Utah was out of rotation, and I think according to what I'm seeing, it looks like it's okay, and they just are asking who the next server is.
So Emery Moiahi is the answer to that question. And that will be a service ace.
And answer it she does, going back with the service ace. And you've got the Utah bench people, I think, stepping up and leading this team. This is her getting ready to serve. And she also has 5 kills so far on the night.
She had a service ace to send us to break moments ago. Utah up by 2, trying to escape set number 1 after Utah Valley led most of this frame. And Moiahi misses a little heavy.
That's a coach's point. We always said that if you could call a timeout and get the server to miss, then we counted it as our points when we were coaches.
How much of a groove can you get into and then lose when that timeout is called?
You definitely can lose some of that groove, and that's the idea of the timeout.
And Bella Wooden couldn't find the groove either, and so we trade service errors, and all of a sudden it is set point here for the Utes. Wilton LeBoy stands at the stripe. Long again. All right, so 3 straight service errors. Nobody willing to take this set by the horns yet.
Yep. I don't think they wanted that timeout to carry through to 3 service errors.
Do you take credit for the second one as well?
I don't think so.
So here is Natalie Riggs. 17 service aces already this season. This won't be one. Gabadlo. Dug out by Page. Page a give and go, blocked by Field. Page wants it back and paints it just inside the deep corner. Tied at 24.
One of the things that Coach Samato was talking about that was important for them is the coverage on this. The first hit that went into the block and be able to get a second attempt on it, earn them the point there.
Right at the net, and look at that set from Wilton LeBoy just to give Gabadlo a chance. McKenna Payne had the pancake, but no, they say that one hit the hardwood. And so it will be set point. Coach.
It's a whole new set of teams that you're playing against, so you don't know them, a little more scouting, some of that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's fun to see different faces.
So set point here for Utah Valley with Riggs at the stripe. That was tough to handle for Gabadlo right at the net. And that was touched by Chisholm, but she's complaining that it was outside the antenna, which it was. And so set number 1 belongs to Utah Valley. And the Wolverines had control of most of that first. It slipped away, and then they got it back at the very end. We will step...
The kills from Sammy Blackett, 5 from Avery Page, and 4 from Olivia Jaffa. So they had 4 kills from their middle blocker, which is a good sign for them.
Yes, it is.
Grace Moss, a redshirt sophomore out of California, will get us underway here in the second. Good start here for Utah Wolverines, able to pummel it over. Back set here for Grossenbach. And now another swing for Page off the block. Grossenbach and Field right there. Page again. This one gets punched down. Grossenbach and Field setting up a brick wall here on this right antenna.
Both freshmen that were from the same club team, so they're used to playing together. Kind of fun to see them playing in Utes uniforms.
They're starting to figure it out for sure.
Do those guys have inside jokes and stuff like that?
A little bit, a little bit.
A little bit long on that serve, so it'll go back to Utah Valley. Ashley, At this point in the year, just a couple of weeks in, but a few games under your belt, what is the chemistry like in the room and on the court?
It's good. The majority of this group was together in the spring, so we were able to kind of figure out those relationships on a deeper meaning level earlier in the spring, and it kind of just mended more throughout the summer, and we were able to roll it into the opening match of our season, so it's been good.
That time the block was set up nicely. Olivia Jaffa right there, the 6'3" sophomore out of Morgan, Utah.
And what were some of the things that you think are really different in this year's preseason, since you have, you know, last year you had the 8 seniors, this year you have a lot more young players?
Yeah, you kind of already hit on it. The youth is real, but our youth is very experienced, right? So we're able to see on our website that we've got a lot of young girls, but a lot of young girls who are hungry and ready to go. Our schedule obviously is a bit harder this year than last year, so we've already seen a couple ranked opponents. We see Nebraska on Friday night, so it'll be good. It'll be a good test.
There's McKenna Payne, part of the youth movement, one of the freshmen. Look at the pancake there. That was Grace Moss. Wolverines on the move. That time Jaffa went across her body and couldn't quite find the angle, so Utah pulls back in front. You mentioned those great challenges in the schedule against ranked opponents here early. You already saw Dayton, you already saw Texas A&M. That really has to test the mettle of the group, and I would imagine that's healthy for a group that's coming together early in the season.
It is. We learn a lot about each other pretty quickly, and we have to learn to adapt even faster. So it makes a good feedback loop, and I think it'll be really good going into Big 12 play. I think we have a lot of ranked opponents within the conference, which will also be awesome throughout the rest of the season.
So 8th service error so far for Utah. How does that go across? How does Coach Lanier think about that, and how does the team feel about those errors?
Yeah, something that we've really been kind of honed in on in the practice gym is our pressure with our serve. So to a certain extent, the errors are okay, but as of right now, we really just got to get back there and focus on working them out of system. Something we talked about with UVU is that we work better against them when they are in medium pass. If we can just predict their offense pin to pin. So just getting back into a nice pressure on our serve here.
Gabadlo tools it off the block. Another kill for Cameron Gabadlo. Give her 7 on the day so far. And this
nice
was
pickup.
Way in the air. Go ahead, Linda.
Nice pickup by Grossenbach, and then a high swing by Gabadlo through the hands.
There's Sammy Blackett for UVU, and that one just barely got a piece of the end line. What is it like just in the gym with Cameron Gabadlo at practice and seeing her on the floor in games and the intensity with which she plays, but the power as well?
Yeah, she's a relentless leader for us. She just brings a great court presence that is a key aspect to our team. I mean, I could speak so highly of her for hours. So she just really feeds into other players as well and just leads from her position on the court.
And Moeai with the kill there, another person, I think when she first got here, she hardly spoke. You'd barely see when she was excited, and you know, right here going up on the slide, hitting that on the angle. Have you seen more from her, like just in how she talks and her leadership?
Yeah, she has. She's really kind of started to grow out of her shell. She is learning her role and just living in it and doing such a good job within it. She's leading our young middles. The rest of the roster has some pretty young middles, and she's just really fulfilled that spot.
Blackett got met by Moeai at the net. Another point for number 2 in white and crimson.
Moeai and Wilton the boy together on this block, and I love the celebration. Both of them like had so much fun getting that block.
Blackett tries again, and this time gets it down on the Utah side of the net. And Linda, we talked about earlier how it's going to be Blackett and Page here for UVU, who really run the show.
Yeah, they get over 60% of the swings for UVU, and especially if you can get them out of system like Ashley was talking about earlier.
An overpass is capitalized on by Sammy Blackett once more. 7-6, Utah hanging on to a lead here in the second.
Evelyn Chisholm with a really strong serve there. She was libero of the week last week.
There is Nia Maria Yoki. And UVU calling for a touch, but none was given. A little heavy on the swing from Blackett that time.
block it going in, swinging high. She takes a really nice approach. She's got a good gather step, but I think going for high hands and just misses the hands.
Moriai. Wolverines have to scramble. This is a free ball here for Utah. Yoki pounds that into the back row right off of Page. A kill for the Finn.
So Yoki switching from right side to left side. What do you think, Ashley? Do you think that's an easy thing to do, or do you think that's hard, or what things does that cause for Yoki and the team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's easy or if it's hard, but I think she's done a great job just stepping up into that role. It was kind of a last-minute decision that Coach Lanier put her into, and she's just really owned it. So I'm super proud of her. Obviously, she came in on the right, so to see her over there just thriving is great.
And Leah Wilton-LeBoy doing a great job here. The pass, the dig went tight, and she pushes it over to field for another kill.
She's had a few of those here tonight where she's gone right to the tape and kind of brought that ball back from the break. And Moiahi got down for that one, but a touch of the antenna gives the point to UVU, who won't go away here early in set number 2.
Nice effort by Moiahi there on something that middles don't usually do, and they don't get to practice and play a lot in the back row. So.
Set for Yoki. Wilton-LeBoy goes right back to her, and that 50-50 ball is won by Nia Maria Yoki.
Little bit of a broken play there, but Yoki and the team doing a good job staying with it and putting her hands on the ball and winning that point.
That physicality, Ashley, is that learned, or is that do you just have that inherently? That aggressiveness.
Oh, for everybody. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah?
I think we're just also a super competitive.
Been at one school. He has built this program from the ground up, and one of his prize seniors, Bella Wooden, picks up a kill out of the middle right there. There is Sam. Not as quick moving around as he normally would be. He's got some screws in his foot. Likes to say he's all screwed up. That's his line. Yoki had to scramble, but a little high and wide on the set.
Bella Wooden's first kill of the night. Again, she's a little bit more of a blocking specialist, but Coach Ito is talking about how they're working on, just trying to move her along and getting a few more kills, get that timing together.
Look at Leah Wilton-LeBoy, and that effort on the block. It was an overpass.
That's actually,
you thought they had a free point.
That's actually a dig. She's a back row player there and cannot be above the net, which is why she kind of dropped her hands down. So that counts as a dig for her, and then a kill.
Stuffing the stat sheet. Doing it all. Grace Moss puts that in a tricky area for Monteval. Out of the middle, there's Field, and she's been money tonight.
She has. The connection between her and Wilton-LeBoy has been really great. That's Field's 6th kill tonight.
Entering this evening, had just 13 total on the season now. Was very efficient, but she's having herself a night here. Swing from Erickson, handled by Moss. Powell goes off hands, and it's 15-9, Utah in front.
Bonnie Key Powell staying in for the front row right now for Gabadlo. She played a little bit of outside hitter and then moved to the libero, but with some of the nagging injuries and some illness going on, she's playing a little bit of a different role tonight.
She's kind of the mortar that's filling in where necessary. And that swung off the block and just out. Grossenbach was right there, but couldn't keep it in.
This is a nice, quick set, and then Payne's able to just go off the hands.
So here's Riggs, the serving specialist. And that's another service ace, something that she is used to. Riggs, senior out of Arizona, and there you see the stat.
Yeah, 3/4 of an ace per set, and that's the 4th service ace for UVU tonight against the Utes.
And that one goes a little long, but we'll give her the props all the same.
Be interesting to see how often someone has an ace followed by an error. I think it happens, you know, half the time. Get excited, get that little extra, you know, drive to go after it again and hit it a little bit long.
Is that what it is? You're hunting the next one
Yes.
once you get one?
Definitely.
One's never enough?
Never enough.
There's the slide from Olivia Jaffa. And once again, that middle slide connects for UVU.
Jaffa really offensive, doing a good job with her 5th kill and running behind the setter and helping split that block as well.
Service ace this time from Avery Page.
One of the things Coach Atoa talked about was that he really wanted to try to get the middles going a little bit more, just so that the Utah block had to respect them and not just stand right in front of the outside hitters.
Moriahi off hands. Now Blackett. Powell fits that one just inside the line. Pinpoint accuracy from Vonnie Powell.
Vonnie Powell is only 5'10", but she's a great athlete. She is able to, this is a really difficult swing coming over her shoulder like that, and she's able to elevate and still hit really hard on that angle.
They go back to Jaffa again, and they got a tip on that far side, it looked like.
Yep, going down the line off the hands of Vonnie Powell.
It seems to be the bread and butter, and like we expected, a lot of Page, a lot of Blackett, but that middle slide to Jaffa has also been a prosperous well for Coach Sam Atoa here in the first 2 sets. Free ball now for Utah. Powell again hammers it off the block.
Powell going off Chisholm. Really smart swing here because you've got a 6'3", like #1 in the country blocker, and then a 5'10" outside blocker, and so she's turning it and going off the smaller blocker.
That's a little bit of what Ashley was talking about, being more aggressive and swinging to kill on some of these attacks against a very good blocking team. Continuing to be aggressive. That time Bella Wooden finds the lightly painted hardwood and brings UVU within 3.
Wooden with her 2nd kill, so I think they're trying to get her going in this set. She didn't have any at all in the first set, but now 2 in the last couple of minutes.
2nd in the country in blocks a year ago, Bella Wooden. Once again, Wilton LeBoy standing her ground at the net. Moiahi goes right through the block that time.
Little bit of a kind of crazy play on this side. Utah scrambling a little bit, but able to still get a swing on the ball and get the kill.
And it is Moiahi at the service line. Her 3rd year at University of Utah here in Salt Lake City. Spent her freshman season at Idaho State, transferred to be closer to home.
10th service error for Utah. Getting a little bit higher than I think you would want to see, especially with just 1 service ace.
And that one just barely fit inside that far side line on the swing from Yoki.
It's a great swing by Yoki there, going up with 2 blockers and just pushing the ball off hands.
She's had a couple of those attacks a little off balance, but again, she's spent time with the Finnish national team, played a lot of volleyball internationally. Back row from Blackett. Yoki again. A little more authority this time, but misses wide.
Leah Wilton-LeBoy getting more time with some of the injuries, and Coach Lanier said she's really happy with her, really comfortable with her. She's an experienced setter, and she thinks that she's getting more consistent in their connection with the middles.
Junior Maddie Standiford checks in for the first time for UVU. Yoki. That was dug out by Blackett. Page rolls it over. Yoki once again kept up by Staniford. And that is tooled off the block and out.
Avery Page, senior national team, and actually came into preseason a little bit late because they were finishing up that. But she started out as a right side player and then has moved to the left. So a little bit of different things going on the Ute side right now. I think, you know, we're not seeing Gabadlo. We've got Key Powell playing the other outside hitter. So Utes working through things, got to figure a few things out right now as Utah Valley definitely coming back in this set. And
the health of Utah was a storyline we weren't sure how that was going to play out tonight, but like you said, Gabadlo not in right now. Haven't seen much of her here in the second. Clearly not 100%. Page, high off hands. And that was tipped, but blocked straight down. Joppa right there, and so was Avery Page.
Utah Valley's 7th block on the night compared to 4 for Utah, so I think they're doing what we kind of expected out of their blocking team.
And Staniford still at the line. Overpass, and Joppa having herself a night.
Joppa's 7th kill already on the night, so she and Page are leading for UVU, both with 7 kills. Blackett with 6.
20 apiece. That one goes long. Going back to the health of the Utes here. Gabadlo not in right now. Again, not 100% like we were saying, but also no Devin Wiest. Was missing the other night against Utah State and Texas A&M as well.
Yeah, they're hoping she will be back for the Nebraska game this weekend.
Road trip to Lincoln to take on the #1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. And that one falls in the donut there for the Utes. There is Devin Wiest. Not She's good enough to go, but
doing what she can, cheering her team on over there. Devin was part of the U19 girls national team. They took silver, and assistant coach Dorico was one of her coaches.
Page. I'm not sure if Leah Wilton, the boy, got a piece of that with a flat hand or not, but either way, ball falls to the deck.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a mishit by Page. Wilton, the boy, got under it, but since it wasn't a lot of power, it didn't pop up very high. Didn't give the Utes a chance to make a play on it.
So here is their best server at the line in Riggs. Rosenbach. Riggs kept it up for a moment, but couldn't get the second attempt.
Key Powell really doing a great job in the front row. That's her 5th kill. She was, you know, ready and aware there on the overpass. Her father is actually the offensive line coach for the Utah football team.
No kidding. She gets her athleticism from him. Certainly played basketball and track and field in high school. Look at Leah Wilton, LeBoy selling out. Free ball, Wolverines. Tap down, and Joppa there again. Joppa was there with Olivia Glockner, a Salt Lake City native, went to Skyline High School. Utah
really needs to get the side out here and get the next couple of points to bring this match back to even.
And that's a gift for the Utes, and now it is set point Utah, 24-22.
Utah Valley looking to take a 2-0 lead right here, which would be a big mountain for Utah to climb.
And Samatoa won. Linehan at the stripe. Blackett with a hard swing. Linehan gets a paw on it. And this will be a free ball here for Utah Valley. Blackett again hits the antenna, and that does it here for set number 2. So Utah evens things up at 1 set apiece after a back and forth second set. 25-22. Utah picks up the second frame after.
Not sure that, you know, she's going to be able to make it back in the match.
It means others for the Utes will have to step up. Riggs gets us underway, and we start with a big swing from Utah to point. 1-0 Utah. That was Emery Moiai.
Emery's 8th kill on the night. Again, a really good connection between her and Wilton the boy, who hasn't seen, quite as much time as Izzy Marco with the starters. So that's developing as she gets more time.
There's Sammy Blackett, and she fires a laser beam onto the Utah side of the floor. Another kill for her. That is Blackett's 6th of the match.
7th kill, I think, actually,
7th, yes.
for Blackett. A quick set to the outside, so the block really wasn't there, and almost tagged Moss in the face.
Here comes Key Powell, and she's able to angle that off the block nicely.
Key Powell, again, not being afraid of the UVU block at all. Almost all of her kills have come from attacking the block, and she goes up there, swings strong off the outside setter or outside blocker's hands.
Avery Page is able to get that off the blocking hands. I believe that was Wilton LeBoy, the setter over there.
Yep, Page basically returning the favor, doing the exact same thing, swinging down the line off the setter's hands.
Page so far, 9 kills on 19 total attempts. And how about a service ace here for UVU and Bella Wooden?
6th service ace for the Wolverines. They're doing a good job putting pressure on Utah on the pass.
And that one, maybe a little too much pressure. Tied at 3 here early in the 3rd. And so we'll see Moiai at the service stripe yet again. Liliana Linehan checks in.
Moiai has been serving tough, helping get them out of system.
Here comes UVU on the run, and that was tipped right through the block. Kind of a heady play by Avery Page.
Yeah, and a great play by Chisholm on the set. This ball was pushed tight to the net and kind of behind her a little bit. She steps back and pushes it outside, and it makes it really difficult for the Utah block to get there.
And you mentioned earlier Chisholm, the WAC setter of the week this past week. Had 6 blocks against St. John. A couple of games back at the Outrigger Invitational out in Hawaii.
Good to see Yoki on this ball, taking a hard swing to the deep corner for her 4th kill.
Tough to handle that time for Blackett. Page rolls this over. Bump set for Yoki, who steps into one and punches it off the block and out.
This is a smart shot by Avery Page. She didn't really have a big swing, so she did a little shot over the blocker, and it went to Wilton the boy, which takes her out, and that makes it so that McKenna Payne, the libero, has to do the setting, and it reduces the number of options.
Dumped over by Chisholm, but Utah was ready. Yoki again. Back row attack from Blackett, and just a defensive dig that time from McKenna Payne. That one had some steam on it.
Blackett coming in from back row this time, clear back from the end line, and she has a heavy ball. There was a lot of heat on that ball.
Dad Jeff was a men's basketball player at Hawaii, so it was a special trip for her when UVU got to head to the islands.
Yeah, they have lots of connections there. And Adrian Bradley Schul, Avery Payne's mom, actually played at Hawaii for her first season. She was saying how fun it was to watch her daughter play on the same court.
I went to the Polynesian Culture Center there in Hawaii, and head coach Sam Matoa was telling us how fun it was to watch the girls kind of learn the dances and things like that.
Yeah, they learned to dance, and then I actually got to perform in front of them. And this is a look at Adrian Bradley Schul, Avery Page's mother, who played for Utah in the early 2000s.
There's Blackett again, but a little long this time from the sophomore.
Blackett has a really live arm. She comes in and swings hard on most of the balls that she hits. this one just misses the blockers long.
And she was pretty darn good against Hawaii that last game for UVU. Led the Wolverines with 12 kills, had 9 in the first set. Bella Wooden just couldn't find the geometry that time.
This was a great serve by McKenna Payne. It made it so that Avery had to be on the ground in order to get the dig up, and really created that point for Utah.
Here is Payne. Hard serve at Blackett. And that one comes from Steliana Chakarova, a senior out of Bulgaria. She made no bones about that one, Linda.
Yeah, she's a 6'4" player from Bulgaria who is on the junior national team there, playing on the right side this set.
Only 7 kills total coming into this match, but makes an imprint here in the third set against the Utes. Key Powell. Out of the middle. Like Key Powell took that off the face on the swing from Wooden. 3-ball here for Utah. Just tapped over by Moiai. And look at Payne. Oh, and they say that touched the ground. I thought Payne got down there in time for it.
Really nice job getting just one arm out there on that little tip for UVU. Really kept that ball in play and gave them a chance to win that point.
That was Evelyn Chisholm. And just a little short that time from Natalie Riggs. Beth Lanier looking on, her team leading 9-8. Mistakes both ways here with the service errors. 11 for Utah.
And 8 for UVU, so that's increased a little bit this last couple of sets.
Moiai back at it.
On the slide, Moiai, again, something she didn't do a lot last year because Utah was running a 6-2, but with the setter front row, Moiai able to go behind the setter and hit down the line.
This one coming our way. Key Powell got there in time. Utah can't live to fight another day.
Really nice hustle by the Utes. Key Powell running into our table to keep that in play, but just not quite able to put it over the net.
I better close the laptop over here. This is a company issue. I don't know if Vonnie Key Powell cares about that. And is Utah out of rotation here?
Yeah, it looks like they said that one of the players is on the wrong side. She's saying one of the passers. Beth seems to disagree. Beth Lanier, I think, is disagreeing.
Now, Utah Valley was calling for this earlier in the match. Is this just a result of all the new faces coming in, Linda?
Yeah, it's a little different, you know, because you don't know who's supposed to be on which side, but it looks like Coach Lanier is sending her back to check that because she doesn't think that's wrong. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be UVU's point. So again, when you rotate in volleyball, you have to stay, you know, on the side that you're on, so you can't have the person who's in the middle passing on the left.
Tight to the net for Wilton LeBoy, and look at that hammer from Emery Moiai.
I love this timing between Leah Wilton LeBoy and Emery Moiai, getting her going. It's a perfect pass. She runs the set behind and just hammers it between the blockers.
Are there some setters that just tend to have better timing with middles versus outsides and right sides?
Definitely, and the more time you get together, the better it gets, you know, and so since Wilton LeBoy didn't get as much time with the starters, it's something that they've had to work on with Moiai. And that right there was a little bit mistimed, you know, Moiai had to hang a little bit, but it's very smart play that she looked and figured out where the defender wasn't and just went right up over the block.
And the senior from Bountiful now leads all players in the match with 11 kills on just 14 total attacks so far. 12-10 Utah. Blackett out of the back row. Now Yoki as Utah mixes it up. Page hit the top of the net. Battle at the net. Page again, off hands. Payne got a piece. Utah Valley in transition. And then Payne got a piece again, but not enough.
I don't think that one ball went over. I'm not sure if we're going to get a challenge on it. Earlier in the play, it looked like it hit the top of the tape.
Yeah, I didn't see it hit the block. I thought it just hit the net.
Doesn't look like she's going to challenge it, so we'll assume it was a touch.
Maddie Standiford back in for Utah Valley. And a nice swing there by Yoki.
This was just a really good tempo pass, really nice set, and just looked pretty like Service League is supposed to look for Utah.
Again, it feels like this lineup is kind of figuring it out as they go here with some of the new faces in.
Yep.
We say new, they're together every day in practice, right?
Not necessarily in this order and all of that, though. You know, you play a lot of times the starting team against the backup team, and so not everybody could be in at the exact same time with everybody that you've got playing. So, yeah, I definitely think they're figuring some things out. And, you know, some standouts like Moiai are really doing, you know, what they need to do as leaders.
That time, Chisholm just swung it over the net, took a crazy carom off the block, and Moiai couldn't get there in time.
I think that's the first time we've seen her dump, so not something that she uses often, but a really good timing there for it.
Last year, second in the WAC in assists. It was a breakout year, her junior year, Evelyn Chisholm. Yoki. Out of the back row, Blackett. Barely misses right next to that Big 12 logo.
And Chisholm was also picked as the any attempts yet in this set, so hopefully they'll get her going right away. Attacking by set, Utah hitting a 556 in this third set compared to a 273 for UVU. So
it goes up right there on that swing from another freshman, another newcomer, Allie Grossenbach on that right side.
Allie Grossenbach doing a great job on the right side. That's her fourth kill. She's a left-handed 6'1" outside hitter.
Page. This is long. Utah seems a little bit more comfortable here as this match goes along.
Actually, I think that went high hands off the Utah block. Right. So a good swing by Avery Page, attacking the Utah block and getting the kill.
This time Field runs into the block, and that was Jaffa.
Blocks are even. UVU has 5 as well as Utah so far.
That's 4 now for Olivia Jaffa. Maria Yoki. Payne with the hustle play. UVU in system. Kept up by the Utes. Yoki. Black. Fourth we go. Blackett couldn't get it past Field. Dumped over by Wilton LeBoy, then Chisholm has a response. Nobody can get one down here. Kept up in the air by Chisholm. Page found a soft spot in the floor with Utah in disarray.
Wow, this was the longest rally we've had of the night. A lot of shots, a lot of tips, a lot of different things going on, ending with a little set over by Avery Page.
Felt almost cheated that that's how that point ended.
And we have Mijaucic checking in, Lana Mijaucic checking in. She's a 6'3" freshman from Serbia.
Yeah, she's setting up on that right side. That was Grossenbach. Yoki again. Chisholm could not dig that out.
I think we actually had a net violation by Utah Valley trying to block that ball.
17-15 here in the third, and Sam Matoa is having a quick conversation
Looks like he's questioning who was in the net, who was called there, trying to decide if he wants to challenge it. Let's take a look. Not sure if we could see it there on the block or not. The net definitely moved, but I'm not sure if it was the ball or a player.
And the point's going to stand with no challenge. So just a brief bit of legislation. Swing again from the middle, and Jaffa. Jaffa just tries to swat that over, and once again, she was able to make a nice read in midair.
Utah Valley definitely making an effort to run their middle, especially Jaffa. I think they're going back to her multiple times, even during that rally. So, you know, it's working for them, and I think they're specifically focusing on that.
And she leads Utah Valley with 13 kills so far. Wilton LeBoy pulls another one back from the net. McKenna Payne, that's Wilton LeBoy. Sent over by Blackett. Back and forth we go again. Rosenbach off hands, and yes, indeed.
It's a lot of scrambling on both sides. Everybody's really trying to chase balls down. It's a lot of fun, long rallies. And kind of back to Ashley's point earlier, a little bit more shots and different types of swings than really trying to go after it and put the ball to the floor. And that partly comes from not having Gabadlo and some of those players out there.
UVU with Chakarova. Now, as a coach, when we're getting these rallies that are going back and forth, there's a little more imperfection. Does that increase the heart rate and the blood pressure a little bit?
I mean, I think you like the hustle and you like that everybody's scrambling, but Utah especially would definitely like to get some little bit more swings on the ball and a little bit more power.
Rosenbach threads that through the block.
I don't know how she got this between the blockers. Somehow she saw the hole between these two blockers. Let's take a look.
Sometimes accuracy, the better part of velocity.
Looks like Wooden was a little bit late getting there, and I think the outside blocker floated, creating that seam in the block.
Chisholm sets it back to Page. UVU a little out of sorts on offense on that last one, and now a misfire by Blackett.
Trying to be aggressive there and just take it right back over after the tip from Utah, but just unable to get it over the net.
Sam Matoa sensing a pivot moment here late.
But I think Utah also just being a little bit more aware of Wooden.
Blackett stepped into that one, but it was dug out well by Utah, and that is sent off the block and out. Nice swing by Key Powell.
Key Powell again swinging off the hands of the outside blocker. Very smart instead of swinging into their big middle blocker's hands.
Yeah, going back to that note on Utah Valley's block, that's certainly one of their calling cards. They've led the conference in blocks each of the last 5 seasons and 9 out of their last 10.
Yeah, definitely one of their strengths, and they're touching a lot of balls. Sometimes even if you don't get a step block, you can have a successful block by touching it and slowing it down and making it easier for your team to dig it. So there's lots of different things you can do in blocking that might not show up in the stat sheet.
How much of that is X's and O's, and how much of it is a mentality that Sam Matoa has ingrained in his players?
A lot of both, definitely. You know, you have to be able to move, put your hands over the net. It's a very technical skill, but then you also have to be aggressive and really, you know, trying to get there for the block.
A miss hit by Moiai, and now we'll get Sammy Blackett at the service line.
Both teams are hitting really efficiently. Utah Valley is hitting a 220 and Utah hitting 354 as a team.
Can Utah pull away here in the third? Going right down the line that time, Avery Page, and she was able to sneak it just to the left of the block.
Avery Page, 14 kills, hitting a 414 on the outside, so she's doing a great job for UVU. And again, right now, close to the end of the set is really where this is gonna matter.
Key Powell. Block got a piece of it for UVU. Free ball here for the Utes. Wilton LeBoy, back set on the slide, off the block, kept alive by Utah outside the antenna. Good effort, but Utah Valley's blocked that time, showing up big for him.
And honestly, hitting efficiently, but just a lot more kind of shot type plays.
Oh, and a big block there. And that's Utah Valley's calling card, and that's one of their signature blockers in Bella Wooden, force in the middle.
And that's 2 blocks in a row right now. That's been the last 2 points for them, which is even more important when you get around the 20-point mark.
Free ball, Wolverines on the move. They feed the middle again. Keith Powell. Good block set up by Chisholm and Wooden. Keith Powell will try once more, this time finds gold.
Great job by Keith Powell. If she would have tipped right over the block like hitters like to do a lot of times, the Utah Valley defense would have gobbled it up. But she is going up strong and swinging on a hard angle. You can see her come in and not be scared of that block, but swing down by the arms on the angle.
Utah edges in front here late in the third. Page. And the pancake there by Linehan to keep it up. Into the deep corner, yes indeed.
Such a nice swing by Yoki, again being aggressive. You can see right here, Linehan going in and getting the pancake dig to keep that play alive, and then Yoki with a really mature swing down the line.
A little bit of trouble with these last 2 Keith Powell serves here. Out of the middle, Emery Moiai.
They called that a lift. They said that Moiai held it a little bit too long on that. Coach Lanier not liking it. Let's take a look. In slow motion, it's going to look like it sat in her hand a little bit longer. So basically, I think it was a little bit behind her head. She held it a little bit longer, and that's why they called the
You could see Evelyn Chisholm calling for it.
And the Ute fans not liking it.
Yeah, potentially a huge moment in this set and in this match, but then Yoki gets it right back off hands.
Another great swing here, not pulling it down.
Wolverines feed Page, but the block set up. Lana Miocic was right there with Nia Maria Yoki. It was an international effort at the net, Linda.
Involved on the kills.
So here is Lana Miocic, Mother Malanka, pro women's basketball player over in Europe. And UVU unable to connect, and so we'll see Miocic at the line again.
And that was Olivia Glockner for UVU. She's a transfer from the University of Idaho, a sophomore.
Hadn't seen Glockner much the last couple of years. She was on a mission to St. Louis. Back into the full. This is Jaffa off of hands, and that lands inside that deep corner, 1-1.
Jaffa's 10th kill of the night, so really being involved a lot more than usual. She and Blackett both have 10 kills, with Page at 14.
Overpassed that time, and that was a miss hit there.
There's the overpass, and Grossenbach kind of swung her arm. Not sure if she got that ball or not from that look.
I thought I saw Leah Wilton LeBoy's finger move on the right hand, and I am way off.
Yeah, I think it's the forearm of Grossenbach, if anything, but it's really hard to see that for the down official because you can't see a finger that moves or something. So if it touched, you would have to be able to tell by the ball kind of changing spin or changing direction. So not sure. For me, that would be a stands type call. And there's 3 different results that could come. The challenge can be upheld. It can be confirmed, or it can be a stands, which basically, and they have some different cameras and different views that are not available to us.
And then the connection that had worked so well all night for Utah, Leah Wilton LeBoy and Emery Moiai just off a little bit there on that swing.
Yeah, you saw Wilton the boy turn to Moyati right afterward and say, my bad, I think she pushed a little bit high.
Moss with a dig. The freshman Grossenbach able to get that off the block and down. Another kill for her.
Wilton the boy responds with a really pretty back set that just floated up there for Grossenbach to hit on the angle off the block.
7 kills for Allie Grossenbach in the match now. Sammy Blackett. And a net violation here against Utah before the swing.
Will Stanley is one of the Utes' assistant coaches. He focuses on the setter, so you can see him out there working with Wilton the boy. He was a 2-time All-American setter at BYU.
Came over to the dark side, huh? And thrown right into the donut that time by Vaniki Powell. She has stepped up in a big way here on the front line for Utah tonight.
Yeah, 10th kill, so she's into double digits now. Here's Will Stanley, who we were talking about a few minutes ago. Also, both his dad and his brother played volleyball in the Olympics. They were Olympians.
Miscommunication that time by the Wolverines leads to a service ace.
Second service ace of the night for Utah. Something they've really done well at, and it's kind of been spread around by different players on the Utes. It hasn't really been like one strong server. They've kind of taken turns having big nights. But Utah Valley really doing a good job of stepping in front of the ball and not giving them the aces tonight.
Steliana Chakarova checks in along with the woman at the service line, Natalie Riggs, who again is UVU's serve specialist. Here comes Yoki with the tap. And that one was just too tough for UVU there in the back row.
Put it in a spot where 3 defenders were all trying after the ball, but no one could get it up in control. And Lana Miacic is also in, playing middle blocker right now.
So it's Moiai at the line. Six service aces so far this year. This won't be one. Swing that time from Chakarova. Hits the block nicely, and it's a kill for the Bulgarian.
Both sides have cleaned up the miss in the early sets, but not as many now. A little bit cleaner on the service line.
Yoki ran into trouble right at the net. Wooden was there.
Trying to throw the ball off the block that time, but Utah Valley doing a good job. Nice timing, press, and able to block that ball down on the Utah side.
Diving set that time from Leah Wilton-LeBoy. This one from a standing position, and Yoki buries it.
Ileana Lillahan covered on that block touch by UVU and gave Utah a second chance. You can see Yoki goes up and presses off the hands. Linehan almost under the net, saving that ball, but really created the opportunity for that point for Utah.
They're talking about missed serves.
Might have spoken a little too soon since we've had a couple in the last few minutes.
And that is 13 service errors now for Utah in this match to 8 for UVU. Set across for Yoki, and that one almost made it into the first row.
Great push here by Wilton the boy. She was pushed back a little bit on the serve and pushed the ball all the way outside. It's really difficult for the middle blocker to get outside when you have to run that bar.
She has put her athleticism on display here tonight, Leah Wilton the boy. And that time, Key Powell's swing ran right into Chakarova and Wooden.
9th block now on the night for the Wolverines.
They might be finding their rhythm in that category that we were highlighting earlier. That block that's one of the best in the country and one of the calling cards of San Matoa's program. They couldn't get it set up here on Key Powell, however.
Bonnie Key Powell, again, taking the set from the libero, which is coming over her shoulder, but she does a really good job of tracking it and then swinging on the hard angle.
Wolverines still up by 1. Chisholm has to just tap it back for Jaffa. Key Powell again. Matavao. And then Page goes high and wide. Grossenbach was right in front of her and didn't give her much room.
Yeah, and a little bit of missed timing on her jump or something there from Paige. Not sure, didn't look quite in sync. And then she missed it line.
So Lana Mijacic now to serve. And another tough one to handle for UVU. How about a service ace for Lana Mijacic?
3rd service ace for Utah, and the 2nd one just in the last few points.
Mijacic has that flat, kind of spinless serve. That one goes a little bit long. We've, I think, seen that maybe every service ace. There's been an error in short order.
Yeah, I think that's been happening all night.
The senior Page takes a turn. 10-10. Moiahi dug out by Matavao. Key Powell. A swing for Glockner, tooled off the block and out.
And Matavao with 2 digs in that rally to keep that alive.
Get a look at a second of those digs.
This one was a tip right over the block. She came all the way across the court to pick that up.
Key Powell off the block of Jaffa. This one on the wrong side of the net, and Key Powell capitalizes.
Again, a really nice swing by Key Powell. It's, you know, coming over the net, kind of on a weird angle, and she tracks it really well and swings off the block and down the line.
Bonnie Key Powell now with 12 kills in this match to lead all Utes. Jaffa turned back by the block. Blackett off the hands of Wilton LeBoy. Moss, the bump set, and another kill for Bonnie Key Powell.
And Bonnie Key Powell has been playing the libero role. She's in a different role today because both she and Gabadler weren't feeling 100%, and she's been staying in front row and now is leading all Utes in kills.
What a versatile player she has proved to be here tonight. Moiai just barely fits that in, and it's 13-11. Utes making a run.
And this, again, is the versatility of Moiai. It's not often that you see a middle blocker hitting a high back set, but Moiai has such a strong arm. She's able to do that.
That was Glockner with the swing. Out of the middle, Moiai this time. Just a quick set from Wilton LeBoy.
And a little smile from Moiai. It's fun to see. She doesn't give the biggest celebrations, but her little smiles are very fun. She has.
We had Ashley West on the broadcast earlier. She said Moiai leaning into that leadership role, showing a little bit more emotion these days. Bonnie Key Powell just taps that over the block. Free ball here for the Utes. Back set. And Moiai lasers that into the middle of the floor. 15-11, Utes rolling here at home at Huntsman Center. We've got a break, and we've got more.
Along with, you know, a lot of passes and a lot of other things that she's doing out there on the court for Utah.
13 kills for Key Powell. That is a career high for her. Her previous high was 10 last season against Northwestern. Linehan dug that out. Now the Wolverines are scrambling. Page from the back row. Another swing for Moiai, and they're having trouble handling the senior middle blocker.
Moiai's 15th kill, but it's also been 4 in a row. They're feeding her that she's the hot hand, and so they're just going to her every ball they can.
Well, moments ago, it was Vaniki Paula was the hot hand, and now, like you said, Moiai has not missed in the last couple swings, and we're going to have a challenge from using it as a timeout.
Yeah, and I think that's why you only get 2, you know,
Sure.
there's not that many, so.
This time it's the block. Leah Wilton-LeBoy with a little celebration to boot.
She liked that one. Setters, like I said, they love to get the block. And Wilton-LeBoy here dipping way down, going up almost by herself and pressing back into the court.
The lead is 6 now for Utah. Make it 7. This time it's the other antenna. This time it's Vaniki Powell.
You know, this happened a little bit to UVU when they were playing at Hawaii. I think they can give up a little bit of runs. So Coach Ochoa taking the timeout.
Up a 7-point lead for the Utes.
Utah hitting .391 this set compared to an .050 for UVU.
The Wolverines answer with Blackett. No, that block has been impenetrable once again. Wilton-LeBoy and Moiai.
Wilton-LeBoy has a really cute celebration when she gets those blocks.
Senior out of California.
Utah's tied it up in blocks now, too, 9-9, where UVU was way ahead earlier.
And that's neutralized the Wolverines' calling card and their main advantage over most teams. Great work there by Chisholm to keep this ball up. Moiai into the middle. 4 Wolverines hit the deck, but the point belongs to the white and crimson.
Moiai there going up and just doing a little roll right into the middle of the court. I don't know that I've ever seen 4 players hit the deck for a ball before. That was right in between them all.
Glockner off the tape, and that's too far. No touch by Utah. And the Utes are starting to pull away even further now.
Ileana Lillehan with this big service run. She's doing a really nice job keeping the pressure on Utah Valley.
Chisholm tight off the net, and again, Moiai in the middle.
This was really good blocking and sync, but they definitely have found it now.
So we say hello to Ileana Linehan at the line once again. 22-11. Utah Valley on the ropes. They go to Blackett. That's off hands.
Good job settling down after the timeout, taking a nice high swing off hands, try to stop that run. After Lillehan having 12 serves.
Lonnie Montalbao, the reigning WAC libero of the week. Moiai just had to bump that over. Blackett again, off hands once more, and Sammy Blackett has started to find her way around this Utah block.
Yep, last 2 kills by her. That's her 12th kill of the night. Make that 13.
This is sent over by Langley Griffin. Glockner rejected. Wilton-LeBoy, one more time for Moiai, and that one is out. So the magic is run dry a little bit for those two here late in the 4th set.
Really good timing and tempo and everything. I think, you know, Moiai just went up on a little bit sharper angle.
Well, set Griffin, and that is headlong into Bella Wooden's block.
After a big run for Utah, I think UVU definitely has a little bit of momentum right now, and Utah calling a timeout trying to stop that.
The run is 4-0 for Utah Valley. Well, we mentioned the look ahead for the University. UVU will play all of the D1 Utah schools this season, including, like you said, BYU. 23-15.
Good timeout by the Utes there to break the momentum for UVU and cause the service error, or encourage the service error.
Langley Griffin will take this serve as the Utes try to put the finishing touches here on the Wolverines. Bella Wooden tapped that over, but a little too much mustard, and here we have match point.
Laney Griffin again coming from the Utah Beach program. It's fun to see her getting some indoor time.
Griffin trying to wrap things up here. Dug out nicely by McKenna Payne. She's had herself a nice night. That's off hands and down. Yoki ends things for the Utes, and Utah wins it in 4. Utah Valley put up a fight and took set number 1, but the Utes settled in, Linda, and took care of business.
Yeah, Utes looked really nice and consistent in the 4th set. Took a little while to get there, but I think, you know, once they
to put back on track on serve. High for serve points 1 percentage from the Croatian in the deciding set so far on a 2-1 lead in on serve.
Thomas Stephen Messica.